excited? Yes. You having fun? Yes. Well, how many of you paid attention to your program last night? Well, I've seen no hands up. So that means nobody read your program. Because at the bottom of the program it says, get some sleep. That don't mean today. Tomorrow will be one of the best days of your life. Well, I'm sorry you're starting with me. But today is the first day of the rest of your life. And stop to think about that. We were fortunate to wake up this morning. We were fortunate to get together with all of our fellow presidents, assistant governors, the dream team, the all-star team. You're members of that team now, whether you know it or not. So we're very fortunate. But how you spend this day and how you spend the rest of this week is entirely up to you. You can be one of three types of persons. You can be a person that watches things happen, and if you think about your clubs, you've got somebody in there, in that club, that just sits back and watches things happen. You've also got members in there that wonder what happened. But then I hope that we've got what we have in this room now. And that's the individuals that make things happen. And you are, as Marcia said, the individuals that will make things happen this year. It's not me. It's not the board of directors. It's not John Osler. It's not Steve Brown. Certainly not Robert Hall. He's going to make the Atlanta convention happen, and that's most important. It's you, the club presidents. You're the ones that are touching the hands, the hearts, the minds of all of your club members. You're the ones that are going to be encouraging your clubs to become more involved, to become engaged, to think differently, to act differently, and to do programs within your community and around the world. You're also going to be the ones that set goals for yourself. You're going to be thinking about membership. You're going to think about foundation. You're going to be thinking about polio. You're going to be thinking about matching grants. You're going to be thinking about all those things that will make lives better for people. That's not what you're going to be measured by. You're going to be measured by whether or not your club is better on June the 30th of 2017 than it is when you take over. You're going to be measured by whether or not your club members are more engaged. You're going to be measured by whether or not you have more diversity in your club. And you know, we talk a lot about diversity. And we talk about not having enough young people in our organization. We talk about not having enough retired people, enough people that couldn't be a Rotarian for some reason or another, but we have failed to ask them to get back involved in Rotary. We've talked about that. But you know, we're a selfish organization. And stop and think about that. Is there anybody in this room that became a Rotarian simply by walking in, laying down the club dues, and said, I am now a Rotarian, and I want to be a Rotarian? Nobody raised their hand? Well, you did. Well, we've always got one in every crowd. You're a unique individual, because we have to be invited to become a Rotarian. So if we say we don't have enough diversity, and we don't have enough young people, whose fault is it?
Ours.
It's our fault, because we haven't extended that opportunity that somebody gave us. You have no idea, in all probability, of who the president of Rotary International was when you became a Rotarian. You certainly don't know who the president-elect was. Probably don't know who the director was or who the governor was, unless they happen to be a member of your club. But I'll guarantee you, every one of you will remember who was the person that stuck out their hand and invited you to become a Rotarian. So number one challenge, stick out your hand. Ask someone else to become a Rotarian. Think about what you can do to bring young people into our organization. We need to change the rules. We need to put the rules back down at the club level. And there's two items at the Council of Legislation that will allow that to happen. To be more flexible. To allow the clubs to set their own attendance requirements. To allow the clubs to decide whether they want to ring a bell or not, or sing or not. Have dues that do not include meals. If we want to get more young people in our organization, we've got to be more flexible. We've got to start thinking and answering the question, what's in it for me? And look at it from their perspective. Are they going to pay $1,000 a year to be a Rotarian to come to a luncheon? Probably not. But they will probably give you $10,000 worth of labor and energy in working on projects within your community. So who says we have to have a meal every time we meet? Think out of the box. Think differently. Think what we can do to attract those individuals. What's wrong with having a meeting in the afternoon at 5:30 with drinks, hors d'oeuvres? Do your business. If they want to stay around afterwards, then that's fine. They pay for their meals separately. But they will certainly show up in order to work on your projects because they are interested in making their community better, just as each and every one of us is interested in making that community better. What about that retired person that could not become a Rotarian for travel reasons? Their boss wasn't interested in it. They've now retired at 55, 57, 60 years old. Why aren't we reaching out to that individual and asking those individuals to become Rotarians? We have got to extend that opportunity to more people in our communities. Not because we need 1.2, 1.3, 1.4 million members. It's because we need more caring hearts, inquisitive minds, and willing hands to do the work that needs to be done. And that's up to you as local club presidents to engage your club members, to have them understand what it is like to be a Rotarian, to have them understand what it's like to take a food basket, or to build a blood bank, or to take dictionaries for third grade students, or to work with the Imagination Library as a partnership where you can give a book a month to a newborn child from birth to age 5. There are projects out there that will enhance our community, but we have got to take the initiative. We've got to be the one that makes things happen. We've got to be the ones that says, well, that may have been good 111 years ago. It is not good today. Marcy asked you to turn off a cell phone or put it on vibrate. Think about that. 111 years ago, you You think Paul Harris knew anything about cell phones? You think he knew anything about technology? He was a lawyer. He wanted friends. I knew sooner or later y'all would catch on. Steve's not that. He wanted friends, but he wanted to go by a great classification system, and we still need to maintain that classification system. But we can maintain a classification system and still reach out to touch other people. We need to maintain that four-way test because high ethical standards is critical in our organization. We don't need to be some of those individuals that end up in jail because we cheated on somebody with their investments or something else. We need to be the ones with those high ethical standards. And we need to believe our classification system is still what is best for Rotary. But are you willing to take a chance and say, we are now in technological age that we don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow as far as technology is concerned. So do we have to have printed bulletins? Do we have to have printed documents that we can go onto online to look at? We have to change with the times if we're going to succeed in our organization. But we still have to remember the women that are walking down dirt paths, carrying water jugs on their head to get filthy, dirty water that the cows have been drinking out of and whatever else. That people have been washing clothes in and take that home because they don't have clean water. And you and I can do something about that. But I want you to do something for me. I want you to shut your eyes and count to 8 very quietly. Another child just died. A child dies every 8 seconds somewhere in this world because of water-borne diseases. A child dies every 8 seconds somewhere in this world because of water-borne diseases. We threw away more water this morning at breakfast than a lot of people will have in their lifetime to drink. We can drill those boreholes. We can cooperate with USAID and partner with them to bring clean water to various places in the world. And we can do it in the United States too, because there's a lot of places that do not have clean drinking water within our own country. They're using contaminated wells because that's all they've ever had. And we can stop that if we engage our members. What about the girls in India or in other parts of the world that go to school 3 weeks out of the month because they don't have bathroom facilities? We can do something about that. We can do something because we can build toilet blocks. We can do wash stations. We can teach them proper hygiene if you engage your members. But what about our #1 priority program? The eradication of polio. Something that started back in 1979 that we're still working on today. And thanks to you, many of you have been on NIDs or you certainly know about our National Immunization Days. Well, last year we were down to 74 cases. People ask me, John, do we still need money? And I said, yes. We're $1.5 billion short of reaching what it's going to take to eradicate polio. So we still need the clubs and the districts promoting polio eradication. Because you see, we're now down to 3 cases. 3 cases, all in Pakistan. But that is 3 cases too many. And it's up to us to finish what we started. We can do it if we engage each other and engage our Rotarians in our clubs. Rotary should be proud. And even though many of you in this room are young enough to where you're not aware of the devastation that polio can cause, but many of you can remember when you could not go to the public swimming pool because your mother or your father was afraid that you may in fact contact polio. So let us finish that job. Let us remember our promise to the children of the world that we would eradicate polio. And hopefully, this year we will have our last case of polio. And we can say, look what Rotary accomplished because we had the perseverance, tenacity to stay with it. And we put our boots on the ground in addition to our money in the bank to buy a vaccine and to work in the eradication of polio. And I thank you for what you've done on that effort. But are we prepared for that? Are our clubs really prepared that if the headlines were to read, Rotary eradicates polio from the face of the earth, and somebody reads that headline, sees it on Twitter, sees it on Facebook, sees it on TV, hears it on the radio, are our clubs prepared when somebody knocks on the door of a fellow Rotarian and says, I see the good work that you have done. How do I get involved? Are we prepared to invite that person into our organization? Are we prepared in our clubs to engage that individual? Quite honestly, I'm not sure we are. I'm not sure we are. And I think about when a week and a half ago, I think it was, Judy and I were in Birmingham, I can't say Birmingham, I have to say Birmingham, England. And I was talking to one of my directors over there, Peter Alford. And he says the average age of the Rotarian in Rotary in Great Britain and Ireland, 74 years old. What is the average age of your club? Stop and think about it. If the average age is 74, they got a whole lot of people that ain't going to be there next year. What are we doing? And I'm sitting over here looking at a young Rotaractor that's also a Rotarian that I think is going to be president of his club. And you know the bylaws won't let him do that? The bylaws say that he cannot be a Rotaractor and a Rotarian at the same time. I want to thank you for challenging that decision, and we're going to try to change that at the Council of Legislation so that you can be a Rotaractor. We're not the same as we were 111 years ago. It's up to you to make that change. It's up to you to engage people in Rotary. It's up to you to decide if we're going to remain a high ethical standard organization. It's up to you as to what the future of Rotary will be. It's not up to us at the board. It's not up to us as the trustees. It's not up to the staff. The total decision of what Rotary will be in 2016-17 is not in the hands of these individuals with the red tennis shoes on. It's in your hands as the president-elect. It's your hands. You know, we've had in the past, we've had the, first class, then we had the best class, then we had world class. Well, now it's my turn. What are we going to do? I said, let's just be no class. Let's be no class, but let's be the all-stars. Each of you, as the president-elect, was selected by your club to be the best of the best of your club. You were selected because you had the most talent. You may have been at the meeting, but some of you may not have been. But regardless, you were still selected because you're the best of that club. So you're the all-star of that club. All 8 of these district governors-elects over here were selected through a nominating committee process. They offered their services. They were selected as the best of the best for that governor, for that district. So we're going to be the all-star team. And fortunately enough, Converse several years ago had these red and white tennis shoes, and they say all-stars. Because that's what you are. You're the star. You're the people that's going to make things happen. Team. We're all a team. Together, everyone achieves more. I can't do it. The board, the trustees that I said, they can't do it. The staff can't do it. The governors can't do it. But you can do it. You're the ones that can make things happen. You're the ones that can recognize what needs to be done, and you can get it done. You're the ones that's going to lead Rotary in transforming our organization. You're going to move us forward next year, because I've got the confidence that as a member of the All-Star team, you're going to play the best that you can be. And you're not going to just wait until June to do it. You're going to start now. Because everybody in here wants to have a successful year. And the only way you can have a successful year is to have 365 successful days. Set your mind to it. You're limited by 2 things. One is your imagination, or second is your lack of it. Dream big. Think out of the box. Do things different. Rotarians are waiting for you. They're waiting for me. They're waiting for new leadership in order to move our organization forward. And that's what we can do as Rotarians. That's what we can do as we move forward in our organization. And if someone next year can look back and say, man, they had a fantastic year, but you know what? We're going to have a better year. And I certainly hope that that is true, because we have to have continuity. We have to be a team and working together. Work with your successors. Work with the people that's going to follow you. Work with the people that you know have potential in your club to be that great leader that will move Rotary forward. And then in June of 2017, let us all get together in Atlanta, Georgia, not only to celebrate 100 years of the Rotary Foundation of doing good in the world, but to celebrate a fantastic year of engagement of Rotarians in their communities and around the world. You are the ones that will make things happen. Thank you very much.